See, God, we are guilty. We are guilty for not being a light enough, God. We are guilty for grabbing on to people we should have let go, God. And we're guilty for not telling everyone how good you are. God, we are guilty.
God, we're guilty. God, I'm guilty.
God,
God,
we're
I'm
going
guilty.
Yes, God, I'm
to
guilty. Woo,
guilty.
Jesus.
And we're
Mm.
going to right today, God. Today we are going to get it right.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
We're going to take this all the way to the end. We're going to go to Revelations 12 and 11. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And they
Yes.
overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. And they loved not their lives unto the death. Now, everybody know back in the olden days, they were like, everybody had to do their testimony. Come on, get on up. If you don't say nothing else, say, God woke you up this morning. Come on now, I'm not by myself. We all had to do it. We all had to get up and say,
Yes,
I'm
I
just
did.
happy in here. We all had to get up and have that moment in the big house. But we won't tell everybody about how God actually performed a miracle outside of just waking you up. We won't tell nobody about how God took a $500 light bill and made it 100. We won't tell nobody how God made your car that was already on E run to half a tank. We won't tell people about the things that God has truly done that blew our minds because we're selfish. We are having selfish moments, and I am guilty of having a selfish moment because I am spoiled. I am spoiled in the natural as I am spoiled in the kingdom, and God knows He has a spoiled kid on His hand. He knows I'm spoiled, but I am guilty of not telling. I am guilty of not telling how good God is. I am guilty of not sharing the miracles and the mind blowing things that happen to me on a regular basis that to somebody else they just couldn't believe. I'm guilty of it. And because I am guilty of it, I'm guilty of a plethora of things. I'm guilty of holding on to people who are not going down the road that I'm going. Matthew, let's see, this is Matthew 13, Matthew chapter 7, verses 13 to 14. Uh, Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there will be which go in thereat. But straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which findeth unto life, and few there be that find it. So I'm not going to be on the path where Tasha's at, and I'm not going to be on the path where Tamika's at, and I'm not going to be on the path where Mac is at, and I'm not going to see you guys because this road is real narrow. To be honest, I should only be able to see straight ahead. If my vision is focused, if I'm tunnel vision, as they say, if I'm tunnel vision, I should only be able to look forward. I shouldn't be worried about who's behind me or what's behind me because my goal is everlasting life and I want to get there. I want to get to where he's taking me. I want to get to where I'm being called. I want to get to where I'm being chastened. I want to get to where God is telling me it's my time, and I'm telling Him, here I am. I want to get there. I want to get there. I ain't there. I ain't there fully, but I'm gonna get there because that's my goal. My goal is to be tunnel vision, where He is my sole focus, where He is the light that I travel. And while I'm trying to figure out, well, God, I don't have that many friends. God, why do it always feel like I am alone? Why do it feel like every time I turn around, I'm friendly. I mean, I'll be approachable. I'll speak if spoken to. But God, why am I so alone? Why do I have these lonely moments? And then He had to remind me. And Matthew 10:22, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. But he that endured to the end shall be saved. So I'm gonna be alone on this narrow road. I'm not gonna be interlocked in arms with my buddies. I'm not gonna be functioning in a crowd. I'm gonna be solo dolo. I'm gonna be by myself because this is how the road was orchestrated for my life.
Amen. Amen.
Uh, and the problem is we want people around us. We
Mm,
say we don't, but we tend to want people near us. We want them interactions, but the road ain't built. The road is not built for those interactions. I am not a
Yes.
worldly person, so I cannot function on that broad road where the worldly people are engaging
Yes.
in worldly activities and endeavoring in their flesh. And I can't do it because I am not built for that road.
Yes.
He put me on a one way. He didn't put me on a dual lane. He didn't put me on a highway. He put me on a one lane, one way to get to him so he can get the glory out of my life. This is the road that God has chosen me for.
Yes.
Hmm. Mm.
Thank you, Lord Jesus.
Ecclesiastes 9:11 tells me how I'm gonna have to deal with this battle. He tells me I returned and I saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift. So I can't be in a hurry, nor the battle to the strong. So it don't matter my strength level. Neither yet the bread to the wise. So I might be hungry, nor the riches of understanding. So I may lack understanding, but God gives me understanding. He's gonna give me clarity. He's gonna be what sustains me through this journey alone, but with him.
Yes.
Nor yet favored to men of skill. So no matter how artistic, no matter how smart, no matter how talented, no matter how much I can sell snow to an Eskimo, those skills will not profit me nothing to endure the race.
Yes.
But time and chance happened is to them all. So to endure this race, I have to not rely on my worldly skills. I can't I can't expect to see heaven if I'm relying on what I learned in the streets. I cannot
Yes.
I cannot expect to see God relying on conning people. I can't rely on seeing God by talking people out of their shoes, shirts, and everything else that I know I can talk you out of. You know, reality, realistically, I know I have a great talk game, a superb talk game, if you ask me. But I can't use that to get myself into heaven.
Yes.
Because God is not going to let me sweet talk him into heaven. He's not going to do that. Oh, yeah, okay, I bought him cookies from you as a Girl Scout, but it's not going to get me into heaven.
That's right.
I'll buy that furniture from you, but it's not going to get me into heaven.
That's right.
My work, what work have I put forth to go down the right path? What work has I put forth to please God in this way? How do I get to where I please God no matter what I do? But it starts by me telling people how good God is. The problem, what I realize is being selfish and holding in what God has done for me. I miss opportunities to gather the souls God required of my hands. So I am guilty and I'm accountable. I'm guilty of not telling somebody how God moved for me to pull them out of their dark storm. I'm guilty of being a hindrance to somebody else because I wouldn't open up my mouth.
Yes.
Guilty. I'm guilty of that. But it won't happen no more But it won't happen no more because I am now accountable for knowing when God is doing what He is doing in my life. I'm required to share. It is a requirement unto life. I'm
Mhm.
required to share. I'm, I'm required to share. Jesus, I'm required to share. And just to validate, hey, how did I get on this road? How did I get on this narrow road where I'm required to do all of these things and everything? Why can't I be on the broad road? Why can't I walk with the people in the world? And Matthew 22:14 tells me, for many are called, but few are chosen. So because I am a chosen vessel, I am a chosen soul, I am a chosen child of God, I am a chosen king's kid. I can't afford to be on a broad road with those who are just called. Because your call means nothing. But being chosen, being able to be plucked by God, to be used by God. Oof. Being able to be plucked by God, to be used by God. Being set apart for such a time as this. Oh, mm.
Yes.
he, he can't, he can use anybody. He can use an ass if he chose to. I've seen him do it. Maybe not a physical one, but I've seen him use a couple of them. But no, to be chosen by God is not just an honor and a privilege, but it is a solidification of where you stand in Him. He could give a download to anybody, but are you going to be willing to let Him upload it to His people? Are you going to be obedient enough to tell His people how good He really is? Are you going to be obedient enough to be that light? No matter how hard you had to work to get where you are, no matter how hard that road gets, no matter how lonely that road may feel, are you going to be obedient enough so that He gets the glory out of the struggle, out of the slowfulness that you had to deal with, out of the curiosities? The problem we have is a lot of us question God without trusting God. Ooh,
Yes.
we question, is this you? Instead of just trusting Him. Now, that's all I have word wise, but I'm gonna have to give my testimony to cover me. I took this trip to Winona, Minnesota,
Yes.
and on the way up here, I nearly wrecked my car 4 times. On the way up here, I went from thinking I had a place to live to having no place to live. On the way up here, I went from being uncomfortable. But here I am now, and I've only been here a week. Today makes a week I've been in this city and I've been in this state. And God has done nothing but turn my life around. I came here and found people who appreciated me. I came here. I came here and found a place better than the place I thought I was getting.
Yes.
For a price better than the price I thought I had to pay. Obedience. And had I stayed where I was, I would have missed out on the opportunity to see God's hand upon my life. Because narrow is that road. Had I stayed in Florida, I would have missed the opportunity to see where I stood with my father. I probably would have never tapped back into my ministry. I probably would have stayed stagnant and silent. And if you don't know, ask my mother, she will tell you. God had to take me out of my comfort zone to set me up for the come up. Because who you know went from a one bathroom to a one bedroom to a 5 bedroom, one bath? Who do you know stay in a hotel and get luxury treatment? Who found favor with management? No one can tell me God didn't set me up on this narrow road, because this opportunity that I have was God created. God ordained my route, and I have followed him there throughout, and I'm going to continue to follow him. So when he calls my name like he did Friday and tell me, hey, I need you to get ready, God, I'm coming. Tell me where you need me to be and when you need me to be, and Lord, I will be there. If I got to move my day around, God, I'll move my day around for you, because you deserve the glory. I can't tell people how good God is to me if my mouth is silent.
Yes.
I cannot fully walk the path on the upright and on the narrow road if I am acting like the people of the world.
Yes.
I can't do it. I couldn't do it. I can't do it because it's not me. I have always been a king's kid and I know better. God, I ask you to forgive me for every time you have performed, for every time you were there for me, God. I ask you to please forgive me. Forgive me for not sharing the benefit, the love, the care, the honesty. God, forgive me for not sharing you with your people, God. Forgive me. Forgive me for tooting my nose up because I didn't like how they treated your people, God. Forgive me. Forgive me. Forgive me for thinking they didn't deserve, God, because you said they deserve. God,
Yes.
forgive me for not doing my part. Because, God, this is your job to orchestrate, not my job. God, it's not about what I say, feel, think, or just. It's not about what I think should be. God, it's about what you say. And God,
Yes.
please just forgive me for not saying. Forgive me for not doing. God, forgive me for not answering every time you called me, God, because I was chosen and I am chosen, God. And you have, oh, God, you have pointed that out to me more than ever, God, that I am chosen. I am your child, God. We are your children, God. And we ask you that you come and find us where we are, God, wherever we may be.
Yes,
And
Lord
we
Jesus.
just clean, God. You give us a new hunger and you give us that new thirst and you give us that new zeal to not only do right by us, but God, let us do right by you. Because doing right by you, God, is doing right by us. When we don't know, God, I ask you that you give us understanding. God, give us the wisdom that we need to push forward. When we don't know what to say, God, we ask that you be our words. When we don't know how to say it, God, we ask you to be the diction that we use. God, for all that you have done, God, you are worthy to be praised. God, you are worthy to be worshipped. God, you are worthy. You are worthy. You are so worthy, God. And I refuse to be disobedient any longer, God. I refuse to be disobedient because you have honestly given me the best life a girl could have ever asked for. Through struggle and strain, God, you have still given me the best life I could have asked for. I don't know about nobody else, God, but this is personal. It's so personal, God. And I need you to wash me clean. God, I need you to wash me clean. Because this is no longer a broad road, God. I am no longer taking the broad road, but God, this is a narrow. This is narrow, God. And when I feel lonely, God, just keep reminding me that I'm not alone because you are there. That this is not how this is not how we intended for things to go, God, but you are in control. You are in control. Um, this, this is your message to your people, God. Silence is not. It's not. No more. No more. We can no longer be silent about the things that He does. We can no longer be silent about the ways He moves. We can no longer be silent. Whether it is good or bad, God, we can no longer be silent. He said, be silent no more. Because you are hindering somebody else. Your silence is hindering somebody. Oh, again, I am guilty. I am guilty. So you're not by yourself. You are not by yourself, but your silence is hindering somebody else's breakthrough. Your silence is hindering somebody who wants.
Yes.
You are hindering them because you won't open up your mouth. And no, it's not an easy road. God knows it's not an easy road, but you are hindering someone who is down that path that you used to be on. You are hindering somebody who is on the path of addiction. You are hindering somebody who is on the path of homelessness. You are hindering someone who needs God. And because you won't open up your mouth, they are in limbo. They don't know where to get started because they don't know where to turn, and you are hindering them. And this is what He is telling me is you are hindering them because they don't know where to go. Everybody say try Jesus, but how do I know God is going to be the one that's going to deliver me unless you tell me, hey baby, I was in your shoes. I've been homeless countless times, but God made a way. I've been hungry, but God made a way. You don't have to stay in the place that you're in because God made a way. Oh, okay, I'm gonna stop crying, y'all. I'm gonna stop crying. But God has a plan for you guys. He has a plan, and you guys have purpose. Our road is narrow. The gate is straight, but the road is narrow. And it leads to eternal life. And down that road, you're gonna get those people who say, I prophesied in your name and I spoke in tongues, God, and I prayed for your people. But you're gonna see those people fall off the road. Not everybody who's on that road right now is gonna stay on that road. And it's best that you develop tunnel vision. It is best that you develop tunnel vision with a praise in your mouth and your testimony on your lips, because you never know who needs to hear what God has done for you. You never know. It may people don't even look like they need to know, but you never know who needs it. You never know who God is gonna put in your path for you to do your due diligence. Oof.
Mm.
Uh, and now you are accountable for what you know. You can't say you don't know after today. You can't say you don't know after today. And you are officially accountable for what you know.
Yes.
And all praises be to God. And I give it back to the one and only Apostle Annette Parker.